My name is Addie.
We're from Mrs. Worst's first hour class.
We read the books Challenger Deep and Telltale Heart, both very deep books with many similarities and differences.
So let's start with the differences. Like Challenger Deep's author is Neil Schillerman and Telltale Heart's author is Edgar Allan Poe.
That's definitely one of the differences I noticed. One of the similarities I noticed was the genres. The genres are both similar but different in the same way. So they're both fiction, but they're different kinds of fiction. This one's realistic fiction, and Telltale Heart is just plain old fiction.
Yeah. In Telltale Heart, the protagonist never gets described. We don't know if it's a man or a woman. All we know is that this person is ill and his mind just isn't fully developed. Like it's not correct.
Yeah, and definitely he has this friend that has this eye, and it's just the worst eye ever, according to this protagonist. It's called a vulture eye.
Yeah, he just wants to kill this eye for some reason. Not the man, just the eye.
Yeah, and for 7 nights he goes up to this man's house and plans to attack him, but really never does.
But one night he does attack him.
Yeah.
And the poor man was just on the bed, and so then the protagonist went up and pulled up his covers and suffocated him.
Suffocates. So weird. And then the police come and question him for a long time, and he starts to hear. He thinks it's the guy he killed's heartbeat, but really it's his own heartbeat and the guilt inside of him.
Yeah.
This whole short story was first person point of view.
Mm-hmm, yes. And in Challenger Deep, the protagonist Caden also has a mental illness. Something is not correct with his brain, and he just can't help it.
Yeah, and then he has this happy place inside of his own mind where he will switch between reality, thinking in actual life, and actually on a boat. He thinks he's on a boat, but he's actually not on a boat.
Yeah.
And this book is told in first person and second person point of view.
Mm-hmm.
First person represents when his mental illness is chill and is smooth going, and then second person represents when his mental illness is bumpy and he can't really get through it.
Yeah. So what do you think about the conflict?
Oh, the conflict. Definitely a big problem in the story. It was person versus self, because they're both going against their own mental illness.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with all that.
Here's just a minor part of the conflict from Challenger Deep. No, don't do that. You can't do that. You push past him and out the door. You're in the street. Today you have shoes, and you realize now that wearing shoes won't stop gravity from holding things to earth. That was silly. How did you ever think that? But you do know that if you don't walk, something terrible will happen somewhere, and you'll see it in the news. You know beyond that doubt. And then in the first paragraph of Telltale Heart,
it says, "It's true, yes, I have been ill, very ill. But why do you say that I have lost control of my mind? Why do you say that I am mad? Can you not see I have full control of my mind? Is it not clear that I am not mad?"
yeah, both of these parts of the book really show that they are really going against themselves. They're always questioning themselves.
Yeah.
They never know if it's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What did you think about the minor details of the story, mostly figurative language and other stuff?
In Telltale Heart, there was a lot of similes, a lot of figurative language, and it really made the story come alive. And in Challenger Deep, it also came alive, and there were a lot of metaphors comparing his life to different things.
Yeah.
And between his happy place, like the fake world, and real life, people in the fake world are actually real in the real world. So that connection also puts in the figurative language. Like the parent on the boat is trying to help him on the boat, like get him away from his mental illness, is his counselor in real life.
Yeah, so the parrot is trying to pull him away from mental illness?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the captain of the boat, which I thought for most of the story was actually his helper.
Yeah.
That's what the author made it seem like, but then towards the end you could really tell that the captain was the mental illness. He was pulling him away from reality. So in the end of both books, the figurative language really picks up to show that his mental illness is not getting worse, but it's kind of coming towards an end, but it's also getting worse at the same time. So it's a tornado of different feelings.
Yeah.
And then what are you thinking about like the plot diagram development?
Well, I liked most of the plot diagram, but the climax, well, like in both of these books, it was very towards the end. Like in Telltale Heart, it was the last paragraph.
And here it was literally like 2 chapters.
Yeah. And like it was just very far away, and you kept reading, and then you might be disappointed like I was in Challenger Deep, or you might not, like I was in Telltale Heart.
Yeah. I really liked the climaxing. I don't know. It really felt alive. It felt like it brought you alive. And then in Telltale Heart, yes, it was hidden, but it was when he heard the heartbeat. And I say we should read a little bit of it. Like Challenger Deeps is really long, so I think we should only read a little bit of it. But Telltale's Heart is just literally a sentence or two. Okay, so in Challenger Deep, this is part of his climax where he realizes that his mental illness is really just tricking him, playing with him, that he can get through it. This is a conversation between him and the parrot. It's chocolate. The parrot gives me his perpetual grin, a lifetime supply. And when I look around me, I can see that the jewels are attached to little plastic settings. They are not jewels at all. They are ring pops. I can see them already beginning to dissolve into the muck. April Fool, says the parrot, in May, and June, and July. The sick feeling has taken hold of my spine. Now, it rises vertebrae by vertebrae of my neck. I feel my cheeks and ears flush with it. I try to forge a mental wall to keep it from entering my brain, but I know the wall will not lift. I take a closer look at that doubloon. The parrot says, dare you. I look at the foil of the chocolate coin again, and then I see it. The face of the coin is Captain's, but not the way I know it. This face is far more real. Doubloon to festoon, festoon to festival, festival to vegetable, and vegetable to ... This part you can really tell that his mental illness is getting better, but also declining at the same time.
And I'll read a little bit of Telltale Heart. Louder, louder, louder. Suddenly I could bear no longer. I pointed at the boards and cried, yes, I killed him. Pull up the boards and you shall see. I killed him. But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop?
Yeah, in both of these parts it really shows the climax setting of it.
Yeah, and just like the mental illness tricking, and like you can like really see the mental illness in it.
Yeah, so the plot diagram in both books was pretty developed, but I thought Telltale Heart was a little bit more jumbled. Couldn't really tell what was what, so you really had to think through it. There's a lot rising action in Challenger Deep for sure.
A lot of rising action.
Yes. So what would you rate the books from a thumb scale rating?
Well, for Challenger Deep, I would probably give it like a sideways.
Yeah.
It didn't pull me in, but like it was hard for me to pick up the book. Like I kept reading, and then when I got to the climax,
it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, nothing really big happened. I wouldn't really recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
It just didn't pull me in.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'd give this a thumbs up because it really, it shows you mental illness from a different perspective, from the actual person's perspective. And the character is so developed in this story, he pulls you in. Caden, the protagonist. And then the plot diagram I thought was very developed, and you could tell what was happening when, and the boat, it just makes it all come to life. And for Telltale Heart.
I would definitely give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
It just pulled me in right away, and if it was a longer book, I would definitely have read it. I would recommend it to everyone. It's like, it was weird in a good way, and I just liked that.
Yeah. I'd give it a thumb sideways because the character, I probably would have liked it more if the character the protagonist would have been more developed, because you didn't know much about him. And it was confusing, but I thought not in the best way, because you didn't always know what was happening about the vulture. So that's it for today. I'm Addie Tauscher.
And I'm Christy Atkinson.
And this was our book review for
Challenger Deep and Tessa Heart.
See you next time.
Bye.